How's it going, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another installment of Black and White, a podcast autobiography. Today in the studio we have local comedian and singer, songwriter, rapper, whatever you call it, Seth Chavez here with me. How's it going, Seth?
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
Yeah, all six of you that are listening. I do that joke every time because I know that it's only like 6 people who actually watch it through. You know, usually I shout them out too. I'll be like, "Hey, thanks, Kyle, for listening. Also, Dad, I appreciate you giving a shit for once."
Oh, your dad listens to this?
I mean, I like to think he does. Who knows? Like, he listened to the first episode.
Did he walk out on you? Like,
no, he didn't. He didn't walk out on me.
I just thought that would be funny.
You imagine
to just hope that
somewhere
out there your dad is listening.
Like we've never talked, and then it's just like, oh yeah, I hope that just somehow you happened upon this, and you were like, oh yep, that's my kid. And you noticed. Now, like me and my dad like know each other, and like he was around for a while in my life, and then like a year ago, I think he moved to Colorado with his fiance and their kid. So. Yeah, I haven't really seen him in a while, but I mean, we talk on Facebook and, all that stuff. So I badgered him whenever the first episode came out. Like, hey, come listen to the show. And then, he told me that he listened to it and he liked it. But since then, I haven't, checked if he has, So, yeah, man, how's your week been? How have you been doing?
Well, I'm getting ready to leave,
Yeah, you're moving.
Yeah.
To San Marcos,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
San Marcos. Yeah, your girlfriend lives there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, was it just your girlfriend that makes you want to move there, or is it,
I mean, she was getting a place.
Yeah.
And this was back in the spring, and she was gonna move in, and I thought that was great. And one of my initial thoughts was I could move in with her, but I didn't really plan on that all the way back then. It was just something my lease started coming up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh fuck.
I guess that'll be
I need to find somewhere to live. And I was like, oh wait, I do have somewhere to live. I can live with my girlfriend.
Huh.
And also because I don't know, I don't like getting stagnant. And here in Denton, I've been here 3 years,
Yeah.
It's really nice to go somewhere. And of all places, I mean, I'm moving from Denton to San Marcos, which is right next to Austin.
Yeah,
so,
I bet
they call Denton a mini Austin.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I'm sure you'll enjoy it there. And we're all gonna miss you here. I gotta say that's why I really wanted to bring you on early, just because I didn't want you to be gone. And then I'm like, fuck, I wish I would have gotten Seth on my podcast. Shit. Yeah. So you said you quit your job today. That's fun. Where did you work? Where did you work?
It was a call center. It's called GTI.
Oh, it was a call center. Did you what did you do?
I mean, it wasn't shitty calls. It was just really boring.
Yeah. So did you help people with their Xboxes or something? Or
no, it was. It's funny. I've worked at a call center before.
Yeah.
And it was like a scam charity shit.
Yeah. Was it the same thing Matt Solomon did?
Yes,
really?
It's the same thing that he did. I actually told him about that job. And
oh my god. Wow.
Whenever somebody even brings up call center, I'll bring that up. Yes, Matt has jokes about it, and yes, I told him about that job because I had jokes about that place, very similar to the ones that Matt makes too. Because he's describing it perfectly, very accurately, and it's hilarious. But it's also very sad to be in that place.
I bet. Yeah, I remember I had a job with vector marketing.
Oh, how did you even?
I got sucked into that.
Did you not hear that was a scam?
I mean, it wasn't as scammy as people made it out to be. It was still pretty scammy, and there was sketchy things about it. The logo on their building wasn't actually the logo for their company. It was Texoma, but their company is called Vector Marketing. So it that kind of fucking made me feel really weird at the very beginning. But they make you feel good about yourself in the interview process, and they make you feel you're going to be a great addition to this company. Yeah. And then you get into it, and it's just they tell everyone that to get them in. And the thing is, it's they didn't make me pay for my knives or anything like that, which basically they send everyone in the fucking world that's graduating a letter in the mail, or they email them. And I had gotten actually called by them because a friend of mine had worked there for a week or two, and he gave them my number so that they can have more troops out selling knives and shit. And so I was like, all right, whatever, I need a job. And I went, and it was just kind of I didn't like going into other people's houses that I don't know and demonstrating some of the world's sharpest kitchen knives. You know, it was just weird. I didn't like it. I didn't like the guy that I was working for, because they made him out to be like this genius of, you know, of sales, but then it ended up being like, oh, he only sold like $50,000 worth of knives, and then the other $6.5 million were people that were working for him selling stuff. And so they made it out to be like he sold $7 million worth of stuff. And that's like, holy shit, this guy's amazing. But then it's like, no, not really. He's not amazing. Yeah. So I know a fair share of that of things about scams. So you quit today. Was it interesting, or was it just kind of like a, hey, I gotta go?
It was interesting because I was comparably nervous this time to the time I quit Muya.
Yeah.
And when I quit Muya, I called up my boss, and I was like trembling, and we caught it on video too. Like, we took a video of me quitting my job.
Really?
I had it on speaker and stuff. And then he just said bye, and it was over. It was like a root canal or something, you know, just
root canals.
Just boom.
That's not what a root canal is like.
I got a root canal, so I know what it's like.
I've gotten 2 root canals. I know what it's like.
You got to sit there a little bit longer.
Yeah, it takes a while. I mean, like mine was pretty bad.
That's the worst part. I think.
Okay, sorry. Continue.
Yeah. The lady that I talked to, she was just really nice. When I said that, I told them, I try to sound professional, so I'm not just like, quit. It's like, I try to say like, hey, I just wanted to it's Seth, and I just wanted to let you know that I'm not going to be working at GTI anymore. And she's like, oh, Seth, no. So I was just like, shit.
Did she even know you?
Did
you know her personally?
I'd seen her. We work on the floor together or whatever. I mean, if you go into a call center, they're all the fucking same, just like a bunch of like spaced out kind of cubicle things, and then like some supervisor people looking over them. So it was one of those people that I talked to, and it was only shitty because like,
you don't like quitting a job. I don't like quitting a job, at least.
Yeah, I don't like doing it. I'd rather just. I've only done this like once, but just like leaving and not saying anything, that's the perfect way to quit a job.
Is it? Yeah, I mean, like, if you want it to be a good reference, I guess you don't want to do that. But, I mean, if you just say fuck the job.
Good reference.
Yeah. I mean,
honestly,
like,
I feel honestly like you worked somewhere like fucking for more than 2 years. Like, that shows that you were doing fucking something right for 2 years.
Yeah.
Like, so if it's even a professional reference, I wouldn't give a fuck about like just leaving or just telling the boss to fuck off. I would just have problems building up confidence to tell the boss to fuck off. Yeah. Because it's hard enough for me to quit.
Yeah. Like, I'm thinking about, like, I'm going to have to quit my job that I'm currently working in a couple weeks whenever...
and you haven't told them?
Whenever school starts back up. Yeah, because, I still want to make the money that I'm going to make in those couple weeks that I'll be there. But I can't, like, I'm afraid because I'm so replaceable that I'm afraid that I'm going to, like, tell them, like, hey, I'm probably going to quit in, like, 3 weeks. And then tomorrow they'll have a guy to replace me and be like, all right, thanks, see you later. And then just terminate me then. I'd much rather have those 3 weeks worth of paychecks. But I'm gonna tell them like a week in advance just to be nice, because I like the people that I work for. So I'll just be like, hey, I'm gonna have to be stopping working here because school, just my schedule for school, because I'm on academic probation. So I mean, like, it's not easy to schedule around work whenever you don't really have control of where you're getting put in classes. So they kind of just went, all right, here's your class schedule, and I was like, oh shit, well that's like all the times that I have to work. So I ended up having to, I'm gonna have to quit that. So well, I guess we'll go into the intro sequence now.
Okay.
Intro. Oh, motherfucker, are you serious? We don't have an intro yet. God damn it. Can someone do a dubstep remix of me doing this already? God damn it. I mean, I'm sitting here and I come out and I do the intro thing and no one ever fucking says anything. Ah, shit. Okay, I'll do it on my fucking mouth again. There's your fucking intro. God damn it. I hate this job. Alright, start the fucking show. Alright, yeah, so thanks to Nikolai, our shitty Russian producer. And our intro sequence has not changed since the first week. We still don't have intro music because I'm a lazy bastard and I've got other stuff going on. So like I said earlier, we've got Seth Chavez with us, and I figured we know each other through stand-up comedy. How long have you been doing stand-up?
Like 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah. Probably a little bit over 2 years.
Yeah. My 3-year anniversary, I think, is like this month of doing comedy. Wait, how old are you anyway? I don't even know that. 20? You're 20? Okay, so you started whenever you had just graduated high school, right?
No,
just a little bit in high school.
Like I had a year of doing nothing in college, and then.
Oh, okay.
And then I was like, I don't know. I was just like, okay, do comedy now.
Yeah, that's usually the situation people find themselves in before they start doing stand-up.
Well, it was weird. I'd wanted to, and I feel like, a lot of people take a long time to... Mm-hmm. They're like, they've thought about it. They're like, I want to do an open mic, but they're just like really nervous.
Yeah.
And they don't do it.
Yeah.
And then one day they do it and they keep on doing it. That's kind of how it is.
Yep.
And it was kind of spontaneous how I did it. Just a friend and I, we were bored. We were going to jam, I think, or something. And then I was like... But then like a bunch of people bailed on us, and we were like,
really?
Well, are there any open mics? And then... So and then I just wrote down a few jokes I'd been thinking of.
Crazy. Yeah, I remember the first show, like whenever I got into it, it was like one of those situations where I wanted to do it. I had a notebook already that I'd written in like 8th grade that was full of just plagiarized shit jokes. It was awful. And
can I play a song?
Huh?
Can I play a song?
Can you play a song? Yeah, sure.
While you're talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it like a score?
I guess, yeah. This is an advertisement. It's on a YouTube video, but just continue talking.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
So, I had done the show, and this is very weird. What are you gonna play?
Well, I'm waiting for the advertisement to finish.
Oh, how long is the ad gonna go for?
It's one of like the 30-second ones or something like that.
Oh
it's like 7 more seconds.
Okay, so we'll wait. What's the advertisement for?
Southpaw,
the movie.
Coming out on Friday. BT Dubs.
There's your plug.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was doing, my dad had texted me and was like, hey, there's this guy doing a show, like a comedy show at the bar I work at later on this week. You should totally come out and open for him. And so I was like, yeah, sure. Like, how much time does he want me to do? And he was like, 11 minutes. Yeah. And me being stupid and never having done comedy before, I was like, 11 minutes? Fuck yeah, I can do that. That's no problem. Yeah, I'll do that. And then I was like, all right, I'll write some jokes down. So I started like sitting there and I was watching a documentary about comedy and I was writing down jokes and I wrote down a joke and I timed it and it was like 20 seconds. And I was like, oh fuck. 11 minutes is a shitload of time. And so I sat down and it was like a week in advance that he had texted me. So I sat down that entire week and just wrote jokes. And then whenever I, got there the next week to open for him, it was just like, yeah,
there wasn't enough jokes? Or?
No, I had actually done really well. Like, I had crushed it. I did the hand gesture, kind of like, yay, but no one at home could even tell. So, but yeah, I did really well. I did surprisingly good. And the guy that actually was headlining, his name was Nacho. I don't know what the fuck he does now.
Nacho.
Yeah, and so he ended up just bombing completely, and I felt terrible. He gave me his card after I got off and was like, hey man, if you ever want to do another show, let me know, because you did awesome. And I was like, fucking sweet, awesome, this is so cool. And then he went up and just ate it, and I called him, and he was like, who is this? And I was like, Jordan Black, and he was like, fuck you. And he hung up the phone. He hung up the phone on me. And I was like, oh my god, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do so well. I didn't know I was going to mess your show up.
There's a lot of points, like, in my comedy career, if that's what you want to call it, where, like, I feel like at this point, I felt like I'm at the point of whatever it was. I was like, okay, like, now I'm a real comedian, or now I'm closer to a real comedian. Like, when somebody first got mad about a joke that I said and came up to me about it, like, that meant so much to me. Like, I still remember that, like, vividly.
Do you know what the joke was? What was the joke?
Well, I'm not sure. I had 2 jokes about rape that night, and one of...
That'll do it.
Well, I think it was this one, but I had a good joke about rape. The second one was good. The first one was cheap. I just wanted a cheap laugh.
A reaction.
Yeah. And so what I said was, like, something about, like, you know, rape, how it doesn't strike the same person twice. or something like that.
Oh my god, that's terrible. Oh man,
I said it funnier than that though. It's not like it was mean spirited.
I had better timing a year and a half ago in my career, however long it was.
I also said a very popular joke of mine called Sky Rape.
Sky Rape?
Yeah, I go through a whole thing, I spiel that I invented about that. And people liked it.
Yeah.
So like.
But there was that one person in the corner that was like.
I had no idea when she was coming up to me. I thought she was gonna like buy me a drink or some shit. But
seriously?
Like she didn't look happy, but I was somebody coming up to me, so I was like, okay.
So you had a bright outlook on it.
Yeah.
And then it ended up not going well.
Yeah.
So do you remember what she said, or was she just like, hey, fuck you? That's not funny.
Something like, you know that joke about rape that you had? She said, like, it's not funny and you should change it.
That's like, now, so was that like a bet? Did you just win a bet where you like, $20 says that I play whatever that song was on Jordan Black's podcast?
Cool, but no, I just really wanted to play. That was like one. That was like you told me to write things down.
I didn't want you to write anything down. I was just like, if there was anything you wanted to do on the show. I mean,
I didn't know how to bring that up to you other than like on to. Like if you brought it up.
Okay, well, hey, thanks for the song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope everyone could hear that. I can't even tell. I hope everyone could hear what we just talked about. Yeah, but like the thing that pisses me off about people that like come up to you after you do a joke that offends them is like, I'm not gonna give a shit about you coming up and saying this to me. Like, I've done things that were otherwise considered offensive, you know, whenever I was doing jokes, and it's, you know, whenever someone goes up to you and just goes, hey, I don't like that joke, so you should change that. Like, well, I fucking know that the joke is offensive. That's why I wrote it, you know, and I know this topic isn't a topic that, you know, I know it offends people. But I fucking did it, and that's, you know, I did it, and I knew what I was doing, so fuck off. Like, that's my mentality whenever someone tells me to do a joke.
I don't hate haters, you know, because like I really feel like I do believe that even the Ku Klux Klan deserves free speech, you know.
Well, yeah, I do too.
They should have deserved, like, the people that were at that rally.
Yeah, I saw the video.
Also deserved the right to like occupy the space where those people were at.
Yeah.
And like kick the shit out of them if they were like right next to them if they wanted to. But like,
it's still assault. I mean, hurting other people.
I don't give a shit about hurting other people.
Really?
I honestly, like, people, I don't know where I heard this, but like, just like, lawyers are bad because like because like if you get into a conflict of interest, let's say, then like if it's a legal conflict of interest, which is pretty much anything nowadays, like, you have to go through a lawyer at a court, just when you could just settle things on the side, you know, like, that bitch cheated on me, like, let me beat the fuck out of that hoe and I'll feel good about it, and you don't need a lawyer there. Now maybe that wasn't the best of
maybe not
no, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people can handle themselves.
I guess I understand it, but
like, mono to mono, that's just the rawest kind of like.
So like, you'd much rather if someone stole $500,000 from you, okay?
I'd rather like hold a boxing match for $5,000. Like, the winner of that gets $5,000.
Yeah. So okay. So you'd rather have like trial by combat is what you like.
Kind of. Basically. I mean, there's a lot of things. Like, I think it's unfair how like there are people, like, I'm gonna use the president, but it could just be anybody with guards, with protection and stuff, like anybody with like dispensable people to use can be like, go kill that guy, you know. Like, I don't like that guy, get rid of him, like, and it could be done just easily like that. But the truest form of getting rid of somebody is like mono, like Mortal
just
Kombat
one-on-one
shit,
beating the shit out of each other and seeing who's the bigger man.
Have you like wrestled or like anybody ever?
I fought people whenever I was a kid. I'm actually kind of a pacifist. You know, if someone tries to fight me, I'll use my words to get out of it. And I mean, like, I use my words to kind of just explain the mutual interest that we both have in not fighting. Because, I mean, like, if someone attacked me, I'd defend myself, and I'd probably throw a couple punches. But, I mean, if someone gets on my nerves, I'm not gonna settle my problems with my fists, because I'm an adult. And, I have sympathy. I know that I wouldn't like getting punched in the face, and that would probably make the dispute even grander. It would make it a bigger problem.
But that's the thing, though, is that, like, okay, that's what I don't like about the law. is that like, you know, somebody that got hit in the face like that could have totally deserved it, and like, you know, okay, so maybe it was a verbal dispute at first. They're just, you suck, no, fuck you, you suck. And then like this guy said like, well, your mom was a whore, and then that guy's actual mother was a whore, and like he just said something terrible. If that guy punches him, he gets assault. Like that guy didn't get anything, and he was the pussy ass motherfucker.
I mean, but that's where it goes along with free speech. I mean, like,
but exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, so I do believe that there is a line where people would agree with that person that punched him. You know, they'd be like, okay, I get why that guy punched him. That makes complete sense.
So you think like, so you basically are like, if someone punches somebody in the face over something, it's whatever. You know,
It's whatever is right.
Okay, so, all right. So you're saying like whenever someone assaults somebody, that they should take into account what was said before and the reasoning behind the punch.
Everything has to be taken into account, but like, I mean,
so like if someone assaults somebody, but they didn't even hit them back, but they said something shitty and they deserved it, then they get off free.
Okay, let's say Trayvon Martin or some shit. You saw some dude, some hood black dude, and he looked like he was up to no good, and the cops like start chasing him or whatever the fuck happened. Anyways, he gets shot. Like, if I saw that shit happen, I'd be very pissed off at the guy that shot that guy. You know, I don't need the media or the court to come in and tell me like what exactly happened and, you know, give me a legal description of what happened. What I saw was like some dude get fucking shot in my neighborhood if I lived there. You know? Like it would just be like devastating. And if I had a gun and that wasn't a cop, you know, I wouldn't get in trouble for that. I might shoot the dude that just shot that black dude. You know, like I wouldn't want a fucking murderer in my neighborhood. That just sounds terrifying.
I mean, there's a lot of controversy surrounding that situation. And, I mean, the media, there's a lot of construing going on both sides. And I honestly, I think don't let people influence your opinions if you weren't there. I mean, like, if you weren't there and you're not hearing like eyewitness testimony, don't fucking worry about what's being said by the media. But yeah, there's a lot of controversy surrounding that. So, you know, I don't want to get into any kind of an argument. But yeah, I mean, like if you see someone kill somebody, fucking kill him. Like if you see someone kill somebody and you're like, oh fuck that guy, that's not right, and you attack that person and you have to use deadly force to keep that person from doing that again, perhaps, then yeah, you know, that's understandable. But that's the whole thing about the laws. There's like
it's gay. I fucking hate the law. The law is gay.
Law is gay. Yeah, that's the term that we're using. All right, man, how did we even get to this? I don't know. So let's talk more about stand up now. I don't even know how we got there, but we did. So I remember the first joke I ever told. Do you remember the first joke you ever told on stage?
I might remember one of the first jokes.
What was it?
It was about, I said like, it's been modified too, so I don't even know if it's in its true
how form. It was.
But I said that like, I pass out samples at Kroger. Wow, so I started passing out samples at Kroger before I started stand-up. But that was like 2 years ago. It's kind of consecutively that happened. But, so I pass out samples at Kroger, and I've always wanted to, but, like, there isn't, like, any porn for guys that pass out samples. You know, there's, like, pizza delivery porn and shit. There's no porn. So it's not very, like, there's no like sex appeal that comes along with my job.
Not at all.
There's nothing at all. So like, but I thought of like a line that I could say, like I could be like you want to sample these nuts? That's it. That was my.
that was one of your first jokes.
It eventually evolved, I think, into like that either sounds like a bad joke or a lawsuit, and then that would usually get laughs.
Oh yeah, yeah. The first joke I ever told, which was plagiarized. It was like, I mean, it was just something that was funny, and I was like, I'll tell that. It was whatever. My dad told me, hey, tell this joke, and so it was a bit that Steve Martin used to do, where he's like, so me and my girlfriend were at this party, we were getting a little drunk. Now I don't remember how Steve Martin did it, but I remember the gist of the joke. And he's like, me and my girlfriend were at this party, we were drinking. I only had a couple drinks, but she was a little crazy, and she got a little drunk, a little too drunk, and she was like grabbing the car keys trying to go and leave, And I was like, babe, you can't go. You can't drive. Give me the keys. She's like, no. And so she gets in the car, and so I fucking shot her, and I killed her. It's like leading people up to believe, like, yeah. So this girl is leading into a sad story about my girlfriend dying in a drunk driving accident, but then it's like, oh, wait, I fucking kill her to prevent her from getting in a drunk driving accident, to prevent her from driving drunk. Oh, man. What's the weirdest show what's the weirdest or worst gig you've ever done? Like where someone was being a dick, or you almost got in a fight, or anything like that?
Mabel's was the place that person approached me about the rape joke.
Yeah.
And it's always weird there. Sometimes it's been so weird I just want to kill myself. I leave that place thinking, like, what? Like, this is definitely like the lowest your life has ever gotten and ever will be. This is the pinnacle of everything you've tried to become, just culminated right here. You have reached like absolute zero, you know.
Wow.
That's how I felt sometimes after leaving there. I was like, this would be the perfect time to kill myself.
Yeah, that's how I felt after leaving the Abbey Underground a lot of times. Like, I'd leave there on Sundays.
That also has that kind of feeling.
Because their audience is so shit. Like, they don't police the room at all. So, like, there are people at the bar.
Bone Doggy encourages people to just, like
talk the entire time, and no one pays a fucking attention. And, there were 2 weeks there where I would, like, go, and I was like, it was a surprisingly good reaction. And people were attentive, and they laughed, and it was awesome. And I was like, this is fucking great. And in 2 weeks that happened, and then I was like, I expected it the third week, and then it was like, nope. Fucking everyone was a dick that week, and people would just, people would say shit to you while you're on stage, which, I like to mess with people whenever I'm, on stage. So if someone says something, I don't really dispense with them like you should with a heckler. But it was getting so fucking annoying whenever no one is paying attention, and then the one person paying attention is being a dick to you about it. But yeah, it came to the point where it was just like every time I would go, I would feel like shit for like a day and a half or 2 days afterwards. Where I was like, fuck this. Why do I even go there if I feel like shit? Mm-hmm. But I remember my weirdest, the worst show I ever did. So this is kind of like a series of shows that had happened that had caused this weird situation. So whenever I was going, like the summer before my senior year of high school, I was like writing down jokes, and I had kind of like taken all the jokes and I had timed them all out, and I had added them all up to see how much time total I had, and it was like an hour and a half. And so I was like, hey, I've got an hour. Which is stupid. I mean, I didn't have an hour. I had like 20 minutes of okay jokes. The rest of it was absolute garbage. But then like some of them had they would tie into other jokes, and so there was a little bit of a flow to it. But it was just stupid, and it was garbage. And I did like a show. Like I had a guy film it who went to my high school, and I had rented out a theater. The Black Box Theater on Hickory Street. I had rented out that theater and sold tickets, which I sold them for $20 a piece. Which was so fucking dumb, because I was trying to cover the cost of how much it costed to rent out a theater for 6 hours. Mm-hmm. So I sold them for way too much, and then I ended up I actually broke even, which was all you can really ask for. But then the show went terribly. Only 20 people showed up, and it's like a 75 seat place. But I had done it, and it was kind of like a big deal that someone had even done it, and I did the show, and it went okay. I mean, the half of it was terrible, but the other half of it wasn't too bad. And so there was an article in the school paper about me doing that, and there was an article in the Denton Record Chronicle that basically the same article just moved over to the Denton Record Chronicle about me. And this teacher at my high school, Mr. Place, he was a Mexican guy, he had come over to me and was like, hey, so there's this benefit that we're doing for the Denton County Health Clinic. You getting some water there? The Denton County Health Clinic, and basically it was everyone who owned businesses in Denton came to the country club, the Denton Country Club. It's fucking super nice, and I went there, and I was gonna tell a couple jokes and talk about how stand-up affected my life, because the theme was humor heals. And so I went there to tell some jokes and then talk to these people about how kind of whenever I was a kid, I would watch stand up whenever I was feeling sad, and then it would make me feel better about my life. And so I went up and told 2 jokes, and it was just all these like 50-year-old people, and they fucking hated me. And you could tell they were just like, who the fuck is this idiot kid, and why is he here? And so it was so embarrassing because it was like all these people who had like worked really, really hard their entire life to build themselves up to where they were now. Mm-hmm. And then there was this 18-year-old kid who was just fucking around and just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm wearing jeans and a black button up to this thing, this event where there are sports coats and like crazy dresses and stuff. And I was so embarrassed.
You didn't feel like Mark Zuckerberg?
No, I felt like an idiot. I felt like a total just jackass, man. Because I was sitting there with the guy who was the MC, who also I guess like runs the association, and his wife, and then the guy who like did the slideshow. They like gave him a ticket to the thing, mm-hmm. And so he was less dressed than I was. He was jeans and cowboy boots and a t-shirt, and he looked like a homeless guy that had gotten into this benefit. And then there was like another guy who had owned a business, and he's like 25, but he's like, he's wearing a turtleneck, and he looks, he's got a chain on, and he looks
really?
Yeah, he clearly looks like he had like done something with his life, and it was just stupid. And so I went up and tried to tell some stuff, and then like I was supposed to just be on for like 5 minutes. I was there for like 2, and I was like, all right, well, thanks everyone. I walked off stage, and I shook the MC's hand, and I just left. I didn't sit back down. I just took off because they fed me beforehand, mm-hmm. and that was really my payment. And it was the most delicious food I've ever had in my life. Bet. Oh my goodness, it was so good. Let's talk about your music career, man.
Yeah, I'm needing to get to that.
Yeah, that's the reason that you're here, man. You want to plug some shit. So let's talk about the early stuff first before we get to the cool stuff recently. When did you start like singing? I know you were in choir at NCTC. Mm-hmm. When did you start doing that? When did you start singing?
Singing early on, like, and I don't mean just like singing like in the shower or like at home and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess a little bit aside from that, but even at that, I think I didn't do very much of that. Like,
yeah,
I always had another outlet, I think, and maybe if I didn't have that outlet, I would have sung in the shower or just been more like, I don't know, like more like I saw these other kids, these kids that I can only describe as like theater kids. Like, I always saw them, and they were always very animated. Mm-hmm. I was kind of animated.
I was in theater. I'm a theater kid, man.
No, but the thing is, I mean,
you're wearing an Eastwood theater shirt. Yeah, I know.
Like I guess I just started, and I was good as a little kid, because people need little kids and little kid productions and stuff. So I did shit then. Eventually we had band, like everybody had to do band in middle school or whatever the fuck. And so like
you did like one of the arts,
Yeah. Well, like I think literally the only option at my school was band or
Seriously?
orchestra.
Oh wow.
And I wasn't a faggot, so I was gonna do band.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I chose the saxophone.
I love saxophone.
I don't know, I guess I just did
Sexy
a few
instrument.
like things, like I was in a few kids choirs and shit, and
so you had a little bit of a musical background before, like,
and that's why I can say the word faggot, by the way. I'm in choirs. And
I'm in a men's barbershop chorus, and I was in theater in high school. I mean, I don't say faggot very often. I think I use it ironically more often than not. I say it to my best friend more often than because I'm like, what are you gonna go do? Have sex with your girlfriend, you faggot? And then that's the only time I use that kind of thing derogatorily. But so, did you do choir in high school?
Yeah, I did choir.
Where did you go to high school?
I went to El Paso,
Eastwood Theater. Yeah, Nick Haddix.
Nick Haddix is also from El Paso. We have a song on my mixtape actually called "Dick Faggots."
Yeah, I heard that.
I guess it was like, people heard about this shit, and like I didn't know about. Okay, so Luke put the mixtape on the Comedy Collective page like the day I gave it to him or the day after. It was the day of White House pretty much.
Yeah.
Before that, I was at work. We can't have our phones, so I had no idea. I knew the mixtape was on SoundCloud, but I hadn't told anybody anything, just Luke. but he had posted it on the Comedy Collective page.
Mm-hmm.
And when I get to the White House, like, I see Nick, and I'm like, oh, I gotta tell him about that track. Like, I mean, I've been meaning to tell him. Like, it's,
yeah, it wasn't like you were gonna let him find out.
If you listened to the track, I could even play it right now. Like, it has, like, this mixtape alone. I mean, this podcast alone had not only more words, but more cuss words in that song. That song is a straight instrumental track. Like, there's nothing bad about it.
Yeah.
But when I went, and I just wanted to. But it does say Dick Faggots, and it has Nick Haddock's picture. that's the art for it. That's the artwork. You know, you can't censor art.
Yeah. So what was his reaction to it?
Well, I don't exactly know his reaction because I never got to talk to him. But Andres. He goes to the White House. Anyway,
the guy with the glasses.
Yeah, I think that might be him.
Yeah. Okay. We'll say it's him.
Well, I go outside to say hi to him. And this is the first thing I hear about the mixtape, I think. Maybe I had heard another one or two people say, hey, you guys released the mixtape? And I was like, oh shit, I guess we did. I didn't know that anybody knew about that yet. But like, I go outside to see Andres, and I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, hey, what's up, man? You dropped the mixtape? I was like, yeah, we did. And he was like, I heard you called Nick a dick faggot. I was like,
my god!
I guess, like, yeah.
I suppose that sounds about right. So yeah, the mixtape is called "Watch the Toilet."
Yeah, Watch the Toilet. It's on SoundCloud. If you go to the White House in Denton tomorrow, I don't know when you're releasing this, but
yeah, I'm releasing it tomorrow at 5. So yeah,
okay.
they'll hear it just in time.
Yeah, you'll hear it just in time.
So Thursday.
If you're like 30 minutes into this podcast,
it'll be 5:30. If you listen to it right whenever it comes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll be giving them away for free.
Like CDs?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I'm
going to go to Copy Pro, get some like notebooks printed out. I might even have a lyrics like booklet or whatever. You'll never know unless you come out. So
yeah, come out and check it out. Yeah, I just wanted to plug that. It was you and Luke Moore, and who else? Like, there was a couple other people that featured on it. I know.
Yeah. Javoris?
Yeah,
you know Javoris?
Yeah, Javoris James. Yeah. I know him.
Of course. Yeah.
I go to the White House all the time.
Yeah, so Javoris is on it. He only has a small part, but I just really wanted Javoris to be on it, and we weren't able to record with him again because the first recordings he took, it was really quiet. So
yeah.
But then we had Javoris' friend CJ, who I also know from NCTC.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a random dude. Like, I mean, I can't really say much. I mean, he's kind of a random dude. Like, he's a very good friend of mine, but like
he's a very random good friend of mine.
He doesn't do stand up. Like, I'm not exactly sure what he's going to school for. I don't know if he is going to school. Like, I'm not sure where he works. He kind of dropped off the planet like a month ago.
Oh wow!
Like, I'm pretty sure he's still alive, but like,
who knows?
Javoris doesn't know where he's at. I don't know where he's at. Like,
I remember there was a time whenever Javoris pulled some shit like that where he was like I didn't know if he was alive. There was a point where he didn't come to the White House for like 3 weeks, and his phone had gotten had died.
Oh yeah.
And I couldn't. No one could get fucking hold of him. Tell me why you named it "Watch the Toilet." Because I remember something about it, but I don't remember why you call it "Watch the Toilet."
Okay.
There's like a story behind that, right?
Okay, so do you listen to a lot of rap?
Not particularly. Yeah. No. Do you?
Watch
I don't
watch the toilet. You might get it. Like, if you might get it instantly if you were familiar with other rap albums. It's Kanye West and Jay-Z have a collaboration album they call "Watch the Throne." And that's pretty much what it is. That's like the one thing that's similar about the two in any way.
So being that "Watch the Toilet," the toilet is a euphemism for the throne. Or the throne is like another word that people call the toilet sometimes.
Yeah, okay. Kind of. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Alrighty, we're gonna end this episode early. But thank you very much for coming out, and everybody go listen to "Watch the Toilet" on SoundCloud. And thank you very much for tuning in. Seth Chavez and Jordan Black.
Yeah.
Signing off.